Hi and welcome to Create Your Life with Ollie Hille. It's great to be with you today and nice to be talking to you because of course our last two sessions have been via email, so it's great to be talking to you. I feel great, full of energy. I'm looking forward to this session, and it's, as you know, our last session on more time, and this is in fact session 21. And this final session on more time is about managing your time, and this is a really important video, so watch it right through. It's not very long, and as I say here, it's going to be a nice short video. We're taking a more top level view of our lives in this video. Okay, as you already know, we are surrounded by influences that encourage us to work too hard. We've all got this romantic notion about how people lived in the 1950s and the 1960s, and the reason we have that romantic notion is because back then people had time for their families, their friends, their faith, time for downtime, time for all the things that were most important, and of course stress was not anything like the problem it is now. You almost never heard the word stress back in the 50s and 60s. So here is the challenge. You do not need to buy into the way everyone else around you is living in terms of their time. I certainly don't, as you will know from reading my book, and I'll talk about that more in a minute, but you don't need to either. Don't buy into the way that everyone else is living in the way that they treat their time. Life is too short to live by other people's rules. We need to be independent, we need to do our own thing, we need to make our own decisions and not keep going along with the way that everyone else is doing things, and because, you know, it's not working. And of course, we have to stop believing the lie that more stuff will make us more content and happier. The opposite is usually true. Often the reason people work so hard is that they want to earn more money so they can have a bigger house, a new car, a better holiday, you fill in the gaps, all the things that people want. But here's the newsflash, newsflash 1. Those things don't make you happier or more content. And if you do have to work long hours to get them, it is not worth the price. Because remember, again, you are giving up your most valuable asset, your time, in exchange for more things. And it's actually better to enjoy the stage you're at, or even downsize if you're putting yourself under financial pressure, because it's much better to have the time and the energy rather than all the stuff and the big house and all the other things that we think will give us contentment and happiness. It isn't actually true. We don't get contentment and happiness from those things. We do get contentment and happiness by spending our time doing the things that are really important. And I say that here, when you're cramped for time, the most important things in your life get squeezed out. Little things like your marriage, your kids, praying and seeking God, exercise, creativity. Add to the list the things that are most important for you. Now, don't just take my word for it. According to Dr. Caroline West of Sydney University, the key to happiness, and this is a researcher, this is empirical research, the key to happiness is working 4 to 6 hours a day. There you go. There you have it in black and white. She reported that while work delivers self-esteem, income and social ties, more than 4 to 6 hours a day will bring anxiety, exhaustion and a poor quality of life. Look, think about that. We all actually know that. We all know that when we work 8 to 10 hours a week, that'd be nice, 8 to 10 hours a day and bring work home and think about it over the weekend, it lessens our quality of life and it brings those negative things. Here are a couple of quotes from Dr. Caroline West after doing this research. We've structured our lives so the majority of our waking life is devoted to work, which might bring us more money but doesn't make us more fulfilled. So long as there's a trend to work these really long hours, you'll continue to see the plateauing and decline of people's well-being. Okay, a university researcher. This is not pie-in-the-sky stuff. This is real, true stuff, and you already know it because you look around and you see other people that are working too hard, and you look back at times when you've worked too hard, and maybe you are working too hard at the moment, and it negatively affects you. Do not buy into it. We need to be thinking our own thoughts on this. We need to be independent about this. Don't buy into it. Okay, so what do we do about it? Well, start with a blank piece of paper, and this doesn't have to be an actual piece of paper, it can be a metaphorical piece of paper. Start with that blank piece of paper and decide what you want out of life. Then find a way to make that happen. It might take you a few years, because as I've said in the past, when you spend a lot of years cluttering up your life and getting into the situation you're in, sometimes it can take a few years to fully get out. But you can definitely start taking steps right now and have a plan for being out of that position within a short period of time, maybe a few months, maybe a couple of years. You already know that I made the decision in 1999 to quit the corporate world because it was chewing me up. And it took me 5 years to totally reorder my life, and now I just work a few hours a week, and I get to choose what work I do, and therefore I only choose what I love doing. And that's the place that you need to get to. And here's newsflash too. You can get to the same place. There is nothing special about me. I simply made a decision, a firm decision that I was going to live the life that I wanted. Now, if I hadn't made that decision, I wouldn't have gone to every single one of my kids' sporting and cultural events. I would never have written books. I wouldn't have had the time to be on the board of 3 charities. I wouldn't have had the time to follow up great new opportunities. I could go on and on and on about all the ways that I've freed up time, which have enabled me to do wonderful things I would never had time to do, like 9 weeks annual leave every year, 9 full weeks with my family, taking my family to Europe. You know, I could go on and on and on about it. But the point is, I would never have had the time if I hadn't made that original decision that now my life has to revolve around what are the most important things to me, not work hard and try and squeeze those important things in if there's time. And of course, I want the exact same life for you. I want you to be in the position that I'm in right now, where I have the time and the energy to do all the things that are most important and the things I want to do. And when it comes to work, because yes, I still have to make an income, although of course I've got some passive income and I encourage you to do that. But when I do work, I get to choose only things that I love doing. So, again, let's just take a step back and think about this. Every minute of every hour, of every day, of every week, of every month, of every year is critical. Every single moment in your life is critical. Do not sell your precious minutes for cheap. Don't sell them cheaply, and do not give them away. If you're working for somebody else, number 1, take your vacations. I know that there is a temptation for people not to even take their temptations. That is crazy. They're part of your contract. They're in there by law. Take your vacations. Number 2, negotiate more vacation time. That gives you time to relax, time to refresh, time to get back, time to do things that you wouldn't normally do, time to take an annual leave day for when your kids got a sporting event, or when your wife's doing something you want to support her, or your husband, or whatever it is. Change jobs. If the current job you've got is not giving you the time you need, and it's forcing you to work too hard and take work home and long hours, not enough vacations, change your job. Just be brutal about it. Just be honest about it. Just go, this is not working for me. And you know what? Even if you take a lower paying job, it'll be better for you. Yes, you may have to downsize your life slightly, but that doesn't matter. The most important thing is having the time. At the risk of repeating myself, the most important thing is having the time, and you won't believe how wonderful it is when you have the time. Time is so much more important and valuable than money. And look, be assertive with your boss. They do not pay you enough I don't care if you're making $1 million a year. They do not pay you enough to steal your time from you. If you need to be assertive with your boss, I need more vacation time. I'm taking my vacations. I'm not taking that work home. I'm leaving the office at 5 o'clock. I'm arriving at the office at 9 o'clock. Whatever. Be assertive. They do not pay you enough. And stop bringing work home. Yeah. If you're an employee and they're asking you to bring work home, don't. What are they going to do? Fire you? You'll find in your contract that you are only required to work a certain amount of time. And hey, if they do happen to fire you, that's probably a good thing, because you can go and find a better job that doesn't require you to do it again and again and again. Your time is way more important, and they cannot pay you enough to take your precious time. Okay, if you are self-employed, it is tempting to say yes to more work. Don't. You're not getting paid enough because it's stealing your time. The world around you expects you to expand and grow your business and make more money. But why do that? Is it going to improve your life? No, it's just going to mean you've got more money, and then you'll be the richest person in the cemetery. So don't do it. Okay, structure your business around what is most important. So again, if you're self-employed, structure your business around what's most important. Start on your piece of paper with, okay, what's most important? Family, friends, my faith, my spouse, etc. These are the important things. Okay, my business is going to revolve around that. When one of those things clashes with my business, the other thing always wins. My business comes second. And also, book your calendar with important stuff. If you have a sports day coming up, put that in your business calendar, and nothing else can come in the way. If you find that you're not praying enough, then that's important to you, schedule it in your calendar. Between 11 and 12, on that day, and that day, I will go for a prayer walk, or I will seek God, or whatever else. Exercise is another one. Put it in your calendar. Something that I like to do, which I'll talk about later when I talk about kids and family, is Daddy Fun Day. And I have 3 children, and each of them once a year can choose to go anywhere in the country, in New Zealand, and do anything, and I will come with them and I will pay for it. So they get to choose, and they get a day off school as well. So, you know, they get to choose any activity anywhere in the country, and we, just the two of, just me and them, one-on-one, and they get to have a fun Daddy Fun Day. So that's something that is just booked in my calendar, and I do that, and they come first. Schedule time in your calendar for your spouse. If you find that you're in business and you don't have time, you know, one of the things you don't have time for is enough time with your spouse, then book it in. On Thursday, lunchtime, I'm going to take my husband out for lunch, or my wife out for lunch, or we're going to go for a bike ride, or whatever it is. Schedule it into your calendar. Okay, that is this section on more time finished. We're done with it. But I so hope that you revisit these sections. I so hope you make the key changes, because this is one of the most, if not the most important sections we will cover, because if you can't make time in your life, then it's very hard to make a lifestyle change and to take your life to the next level, because you need the time and the energy to be able to do that. Okay, the next session will be the PDF of everything we have covered in the program to date. So it's going to have everything we've covered, both in the videos and in the emails, all packaged up into one PDF so that you can print it off, make notes, etc. And the session after that will be a challenge, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but that's a challenge that you must do. I'm going to seriously encourage you to do. Very easy. I'm going to give you a time limit, and it's going to get you slightly out of your comfort zone, but it's going to be very, very positive. Okay, at the risk of repeating myself again, your time is it. Yep, I banged the table. Your time is it. It's the most important thing you have. I know from feedback from many people that are doing this course, that are on this program, that having more time and making time is one of the biggest challenges they have, or it's one of life's biggest challenges. I'm going to bang the table again. Make a change. Make a change in your life. You will never regret it. Okay, there we are. Have a fantastic rest of the day. Make some notes on how you're going to make a change. And I look forward to seeing you in the next session.